Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Crafted by Corie. If you're new, I'm Corie. Thank you so much for being here. If you are returning, you know I absolutely adore you and appreciate you so much. So thank you for being here. Today's video, super excited because we're part of another hop. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, but for now, let's go ahead and get right into the crafting. DIY number one. So this is my inspiration picture, $49.99 on sale for $24.99 at Hobby Lobby. We are going to make it for about $5. So I've got a bunch of Dollar Tree roses. I have my twine and I have a skewer, one of those really long, big ones from the Dollar Tree that I had picked up. I think it was like when they had barbecue stuff out. I've had it in my stash for a while. But I was measuring off a length of 4 feet of twine, and now I am going to use that first one that I measured off, and I'm going to make sure that I cut 6 lengths. Then I'm just using my wire cutters to cut off the end of my skewer, so I have a flat end on both sides, and I'm coming in with my twine, and I'm just going to tie it. And I don't know why I was struggling so much with this first one. I was trying to figure out which way I wanted to tie it so that I had the little string pointing up and then the longer one pointing down. So at any rate, I finally figured it out, and I'm just coming in and just making regular knots along the skewer with all of my twine. So once I had them all on there, I'm just situating them and just approximately getting them the same distance apart, which is why I had my little measuring tool out. And then I popped all of the rose heads off of the picks, and I'm literally just coming in and easing the twine down into the green base of my roses. So hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. That's all I did for this, you guys. This was so swift, so easy, so quick. Such a fun little DIY, no muss, no fuss, no hot glue. I didn't need any of that. You certainly can use hot glue if you want to make this more permanent, but I found that my flowers were hanging in there just fine with, you know, securing them the way that I was. So, and you'll see here that I'm actually able to slide it right up the twine there and get it positioned to where I want it. I love this. I was so happy with how it turned out. I've got my wall of roses. I just think it's so fun, so whimsical. Let me know what you think of this. So if you are new, my name is Corie and this is Crafted by Corie. If you are returning, thank you so much for being here as always. As you know, I love doing all different kinds of DIYs on a budget. Always love to have fun, and today's video is super fun because it is part of a hop. This is Bring in the Summer with Flowers, hosted by Deco Easy. We've got all these awesome crafters in the hop. I hope that you will make sure you check out my description box for the link for the next video as soon as you're done watching here. DIY number 2. So for this project, I have a Dollar Tree picture frame. It's an 8x10 picture frame, and I have some paper. I don't know if this is considered scrapbook paper. I don't know. It was from a big pack that I'd gotten at Hobby Lobby a while back. But I have the glass for my frame on top of here, and I'm just using my Arteza self-healing mat and my Dollar Tree craft knife, and I am cutting out the paper around the glass. And I did it this way so I could see exactly what part of my paper I was going to have in my glass. And I wanted that black space up at the top because I'm going to use a decal that I cut off from my Silhouette Cameo. I got so mad right here, you guys. I was being so careful, and then static electricity like literally made it pop over on itself. If you all think that I do things perfectly all the time, Let me assure you, I do not. And I tried to salvage this, it wasn't happening. So it went in the trash and I started over. And this time I was much more careful to hold on to it real tight the whole time. So I am just lining up my decal. This is also where I realized that I had measured improperly, or I had forgotten the proper measurements when I went to go and do it on my silhouette, because it was really close to the edges and I had meant to leave more space. So measure twice, cut once. Of course, I did the opposite, but it all worked out just fine in the end. So I have my little quote, and then I also have the person I'm attributing it to right here. And this is "Where flowers bloom, so does hope." And it's Lady Bird Johnson who said that. And so I just thought it would be a really nice touch to just have a fun, sweet quote with a really pretty picture. So let me know what you think. Another fun and quick and easy DIY. DIY number 3. So we're going to be making a wreath. I have a Dollar Tree wreath form and a bunch of picks from Walmart, and then some that I have from Hobby Lobby in my stash from several years ago. I've had those. So as you know, if you've watched me for any length of time, I always cut up my picks. So I cut them all into little pieces with these fun berry picks. I just recently got these at Walmart, and I want to say they were $2 a piece. I can't swear to it, but I think they were about $2. They might have been $3, but I think they were $2 a piece. So I cut them all up, and I am just using those little pieces, tucking them right in between all those little twigs and using that twine to my advantage. I thought I was going to come back in with hot glue for this also to secure them, but ultimately I found I really didn't even need it. So if you find that you need a little bit more security, especially if you're going to be putting this outside, I mean, this is something I probably would recommend not putting outdoors, but if you were to do that, and then I probably would make sure I used hot glue to make sure everything was nice and secure. But I also get a lot of wind where I live, so I find that even things that are hot glued sometimes get blown to bits. So then I was coming back in with my other flowers. These ones are the ones from the Hobby Lobby, and I pulled these picks apart as well. And I love the wires in here because they go fairly far up. You can see me kind of shaping my flowers there because these are longer, so I needed to be able to shape them. And the wires in these go up relatively high on them, which allowed me to really kind of play with them and bend them to my will, if you will. So now it's time for a shout out, a timeout. Awesome, Patty. Look at these wonderful DIYs she's sharing with us. Fantastic. And wonderful, Harriet. So many projects. She has been busy. I would love to give you a shout out as well. If you have interest, please send me a picture at craftedbycorie@gmail.com. DIY number 4. So I have a Dollar Tree canvas, and I am going to attempt to paint something again, you guys. So I'm starting out with these are actually going to be all folk art paints. So Plaid recently sent me a whole bunch of fantastic paint supplies, and so I've been taking full advantage. And I picked out this one color, and forgive me because I can't remember what it's called, but it's a really pretty sky blue color. And if you really want to know the name of it, leave me a comment and I will be sure to go and look at the little bottle of paint, and I will write you back and let you know what it was. But I just kind of squirted a bunch of it onto my canvas, and I am coming in with one of my little cosmetic sponges, and I'm dabbing it all over the canvas. And the reason I'm doing this, I just wanted to have a nice pretty sky blue background for the picture I had in mind that I wanted to paint on here. I just wanted it to be fairly uniform, but I'm not worried about some of the white showing through here. It kind of made me feel like clouds and soft skies and just serene. That was the feeling that I was getting when I was doing this. So once I had that all covered, I let it dry completely because I didn't want my next layer of colors to blend in. And forgive me if you're hearing squeaking doors. My daughter is upstairs doing goodness only knows what. She's actually home for the summer from college, so forgive the background noise. But I went ahead and I picked out a couple of different greens, and I only had these two greens, and they were different, but not so much that I found you could really see a huge difference. But I was kind of going with it. I probably could have added some white to one of them to make it lighter, but I opted not to. So I'm using a flat brush. Now keep in mind this is sped up about 3 times, a little more than 3 times. So I was not moving this quick. But I am creating these, I don't know what you would call them, blade leaves. These are not blades of grass. They are intended to be a type of flower leaf, if you will. So I'm just coming in and making the leaves in a way that makes my heart happy. It's nice to my eye. I was actually pretty proud of myself with this part of the painting. So if you have followed me for any bit of time, you've heard me say I am not a painter. I have never been trained in painting. So everything you see me doing, I am just doing based on instinct. And I have a picture kind of in mind that I'd seen last week that inspired me to do this. There was a local artist. My sister came home with a painting from a fundraiser. There was an outdoor silent auction fundraiser thing that she was involved with. And one of the local artists from here in Lambertville, New Jersey, had donated one of his paintings, and I got to see what it was, and I was like, oh, that looks so cool, and I wanted to try to attempt something like that. So now I was kind of going based on my memory, which also isn't so great these days. But I was also making it different and making it my own. I believe the one that he had created was more pansies, and I'm going to be attempting irises because I love irises, and that was what I wanted to try to do. So as you can see, I am just using a thinner brush here, and I'm creating my stems for my irises, and I'm just having them go in different directions. And what was neat about working with the acrylic paint was that I was getting some variation depending on, in the color that is, depending on how heavily I was pressing with my paintbrush. So you can see on some of those stems, they're like lighter in the middle and then kind of darker on the edges. And I thought that was really cool because it automatically added like a highlight to parts of my design. So you saw me coming in there with my heat gun for a second to help dry that. And now I am picking out some purple paints. So I have a dark purple and a light purple. And I've got just a, I'm going to call it floppier paintbrush. It's not a very structured paintbrush this time. And so it was allowing me to kind of smoosh the paint. Here I'm using really technical terms, right? Because again, I am not a painter. I don't really know what I'm doing. But I really hope that this inspires you to try and do something with paint. So if you have never been a painter like me and you're afraid to try it, you know, for the longest time, I just didn't try it because I didn't know what I was doing. And I still don't know what I'm doing, but I am still trying it because I figure, you know what? I can learn and I can attempt, and I don't know, at least I'm having fun while I do it. So even if it doesn't turn out the way that I'd pictured in my mind's eye, I at least have tried. And so I'm not so sure how successful I was. Parts of this I am very pleased with, and other parts I know I want it to look better, but I don't know how to make it look better, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know what the brush strokes are that I should have been using, or how I should have contoured things a little bit better. So I probably should get on Skillshare and take a class in painting. I also think that before I came in with my yellow, so you're going to see me coming in with some yellow in a little bit. Right now, I'm just working with my purples and trying to get the irises with a little bit of a variation in color and just trying to blend all that in. But when I come in with my yellow, that's really where things start taking a bit of a turn. But and I guess even a little bit here with the lighter purple, I almost liked it better before I added the light purple. I don't know, maybe I'm just being overly critical of myself, which I tend to be. I'm like my own worst enemy, so aren't we all, right? But I was just coming back in and blending and blending. You know, I always say, just do what makes your heart happy. Do what's pleasing to your eyes. And I figure, you know what? If I don't like it, I can always paint over it later, right? Because it's just paint. It's not, the end of the world if I mess it up. So here I'm looking for my yellow paint, and I had picked out, I think like a lemon yellow first, and then I decided I wanted to use my moon yellow, which is a little bit more orange. I decided that that was a more realistic shade. And so now I'm coming in and adding those little, I want to call them beards. I don't know what you call that on the iris, but it's that little yellow, I don't know, it looks like a tongue or a bee. I don't know what it looks like, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. So I'm adding that in and trying to think about where that goes on my iris petals. And like I said, some of these look better than others, I think. My daughter suggested that a couple of my flowers actually looked more like starfish when I was done. So I'm calling this impressionistic art, or I don't know, is this impressionism or is this abstract? I'm not really sure. It definitely is not realism or realistic looking, but like I said, I had fun with it, and I hope that you're enjoying my attempt at least. I definitely welcome your feedback. I hope you'll be kind and if you do have paint skills, please give me some suggestions. I am completely open to your suggestions on that. So again, I'm just doing what makes my eye happy, and I decided I needed another flower down below. And I just want to take a minute to thank all of you again so much for being here with me. I appreciate you, and I so appreciate all of the comments that you leave for me. And I know I've been a little bit behind in responding to comments lately, and I thank you for your patience, because you know that I do try to respond to everyone. And if I miss one here and there, please forgive me. I try to go back and check and make sure that I didn't miss any. But YouTube has also changed the way that they show us comments that haven't been responded to. It used to be that if you hearted something, you could still go back and easily find the things that you hadn't yet commented on, and that's no longer the case. As soon as I give something a heart, it disappears from view. It kind of shows as already having been responded to. So anyway, I'm a little slow in getting to everybody's comments, so please forgive me. But I had a couple of sweet subscribers who the last time reminded me that I really should sign my art. So I made sure that I went ahead and I signed my artwork. And let me know what you think. And here we are with the final reveal. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the project, please be sure to give me a big thumbs up. It really does help support my channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought, which one was your favorite. And if you haven't already subscribed, I hope that you'll consider doing that and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I really look forward to you coming back and visiting with me again sometime soon. Before you go, be sure to check out my description box because that's where you're going to find the link for the next video in the hop. There's a ton of wonderful summer flower inspiration to be had. Let them know that I sent you. And until the next time, be well, be kind, and make it a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care. Bye.